Let's bring our political panel right now. Our chief White House correspondent, John Call, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, chief political analyst Matthew Dowd, Democratic strategist Donna Brazile. Matthew, let me begin with you. You look at these, you can cut these results in so many different ways. One thing is clear, the country is divided. It's almost like we have two different countries living inside our borders.
And each of them are doing very well among their group. And as I said last night on the election outcome, it's geography, which the Republicans have this huge advantage. They have more red states, more areas, and Democrats have demography, which is a growing group of voters that are voting more and more with them. They won the popular vote overwhelmingly last night. But it doesn't do either side any good. That's why we had this another split decision like 2016. To run up the score in home games, but not be able to score in away games, and that's what each side is doing.
President Trump won where he campaigned. There's no question about that. He's added to his majority in the Senate, but he is waking up to a new world in Washington this morning.
It's an entirely new world. The Democrats are in charge of the House. They will control the agenda in the House, and they will be issuing subpoenas left and right, not just personally investigating the president, but his administration. Those Republicans have been protecting him. Now the Democrats that are in charge will be going after him. But, George, remember, this is a majority for the Democrats of between 9 and 12 seats, a very narrow majority in the House, even narrower than what John Boehner had when he was Speaker. You saw how hard it was for him.
Difficult for Nancy Pelosi if she's a leader to deal with, and it is a very, very different House now, Donna.
Well, no question, George. It's younger. It is also experienced. It's fresh. And what Democrats wanted most yesterday was to have a seat at the table so that we can litigate issues like health care, protecting people with pre-existing conditions. This was a historic loss for a president with low approval ratings but a good, strong economy. Democrats are going to go back to Washington, D.C. and sit down with Donald Trump and try to come up with a bargain on health care, infrastructure, and, of course, lowering taxes for the middle class.
That is next year. A lot to get through this year. First, Chris, you're a former governor of New Jersey. The story in the states last night, Democrats pick up 6 seats, 6 switches. On the other hand, Republicans hold those big states, Florida and Ohio.
Yeah, I think, when we were talking last night about the fact that there were 26 governorships that the Republicans were defending last night, and 12 of them were open seats. And so in that kind of situation, you're going to lose some. They lost some last night. I think the biggest disappointment they had last night was losing Scott Walker in Wisconsin, a senior governor going for his 3rd term, his 4th run in 8 years. So I think that was disappointment. But holding on to Ohio and Florida, enormous, not only for 2020, but for redistricting in 2021-22.
You made the point several times that President Trump isn't going to change. You, of course, have known President Trump for many, many years, worked with him on many things. He's going to come out today with his first press conference after the defeat in the House. Is there any way he can change, he's not going to change his style, I know that, but his manner of governing the issues he's choosing to run?
Yeah, I think he will. I think for his core issues for him, the things he really cares about are the trade issue and the immigration issue. And I don't know that you'll see a whole lot of change in there. But I do think you'll see him reach out to the Democrats on issues like infrastructure, on issues like prison and sentencing reform, and try to cut some deals there where he can make the argument in 2020, hey, I've been bipartisan, I've passed these things with them.
He could get Democratic allies on trade.
He could, absolutely. And on infrastructure, this could have been how he started his presidency. But now, George, we're looking at $1 trillion deficit. There's not much money left to come out with a big, expensive new infrastructure.
And the problem is the tribes of each side are going to give each side no incentive. They're not going to give Nancy Pelosi incentive to cut any deals, and they're not going to give Donald Trump incentive to cut any deals.
No, except that when you're giving away money, everybody has incentive. And governors all over this country,
the amazing thing is the debt continues to
increase. Of course, but new Democratic governors are going to say, send that money to help me rebuild my infrastructure.
He's going to need Democrats to raise the debt ceiling, and Democrats are not going to turn a blind eye to the kind of corruption and the abuse of power that they've seen coming out of the Trump White House.
Oversight is going to be important. Thank you all very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.